The views shared on this show are my own and not those of Fam Radio. I am not a pastor or trying to tell you how to live your life. I'm just sharing my journey. Take what resonates, leave the rest, and let's grow together.
What's truly good with you? This is your boy, Jan Vass Hunter Jr., and you are now tuned into the London Elixir Show. Let's get it.
Hey, it's Nwugochi Lewis here, and you are listening to the London Elixir Show.
What's going on, y'all? It's the kid, Jay Nolan here. You're now tuned into the London Elixir Show. Make sure you tune in, keep it locked, and run it back after it's over, too.
Hey, what's up, family? This is Pastor Luke, New Vision Christian Church, and you're tuned in now to the London Elixir Show.
From Ohio to Atlanta, mixing music and ministry, this is the London Elixir Show on Film Radio.
What's up, cousins? Welcome back to another episode of the London Elixir Show, where faith meets real life and purpose gets amplified. I'm your host, London Elixir, music producer, DJ, and faith-driven entrepreneur, here to help you level up in music, business, and most importantly, in purpose. If this is your first time tuning in, welcome to the family. This show is all about faith, business, and keys to navigating life as a creative. Big shout out to Fam Radio for allowing us to spread this message on their platform. If you're an artist looking to get your music played, you have a topic you want to discuss, or if you're a brand looking to sponsor an episode, hit us up at londonelixir.com/show. Okay, cousins, today's guest is somebody who's been an inspiration to me for years, personally and spiritually. We actually met back in the day at church where she and her husband Mike led our young adults Bible study, and from that point on, we became close friends, and I've been blessed to watch her walk boldly in both faith and entrepreneurship. She's a wife, a mother, a powerhouse businesswoman, and the host of her own podcast, Pod for Your Girl, which I've had the honor of being featured on not once, but twice, y'all. So you know I had to bring her on my show. I'm talking about Nwugochi Lewis. She's the visionary behind Wellthy University, which is a powerful blend of ministry and marketplace designed to help people level up spiritually and professionally. With a reach of over 300,000 people through her ministry alone. Listen, y'all, her impact is undeniable. So today, we are diving into how faith is fueling her entrepreneurial journey, the lessons she's learned along the way, and how she's helping others pursue and actually achieve the life of their dreams. Nwugochi girl, welcome to the show.
Yes, what is up, girl? Thank you for that amazing intro.
You're welcome. I had to do you justice. Like, I'm
Aw.
really glad to have you here. I'm excited for the conversation.
Yes.
And I think that is going to be really great for the listeners to just hear your story and just how we met and, you know, some of the wonderful work that you're doing.
Yes, you definitely took me down memory lane.
We're going to get into it.
Yes.
Okay, y'all, but before we dive into Alice's incredible story, y'all know how we do it. We got to kick things off with our Faith Works segment. Now, if you are new here, this is the part of the show where we pause and reflect on the power of faith in action. We dive into real life faith principles and how we can actually apply them in our daily walk. Because faith isn't just about what we believe, it's about what we do. And this whole segment is built on James 2:26, which reminds us, for as the body without the spirit is dead, so faith without works is dead also. So whether you're in a season of waiting, building, or breakthrough, I truly believe faith works, but sometimes it gets tested in ways we don't quite expect. So, Alice, can you share a moment in your life where your faith was really tested, and how did you get through it?
Yes, girl. In 2023, at the end of 2023, I was going so hard for the Lord. I was serving, I was working a full-time job, I was momming, I was wifing, I was doing all the things.
Yeah.
And by the end of the year, I want to say about October, like my body started to really feel it. I think in my mind, I was going so hard. I was like, God, you're here, you're in this, you're going to push me, you're going to get me through, you know, but my body was telling me to slow down. And I think God was trying to use my body to tell me, sis, you need to slow down. Daughter, you need to take a break. And so I found myself on a flight. For those of y'all that don't know, I moonlight as a flight attendant. And so I found myself on a flight, and I was in West Palm Beach, Florida. And all of a sudden, I just had the worst pain in my stomach. And so this time I'm like all by myself in a hotel room, and I found myself, I had to call my husband. I was crying. And I was like, babe, I don't know what's going on. I have excruciating pains. And he's like, call 911. Like, just forget, the bills, whatever, call 911. So I call 911. They come, they push down on my abdomen, and the pain just got even worse.
Yeah.
And so they end up having to rush me to the emergency room. Come to find out, I had to have emergency surgery for my gallbladder.
Wow.
And in that moment, it was so crazy because like I just felt fear just come all over me. Like, I didn't want to go into the surgery. I didn't want to do it by myself because, for one, I'm in a foreign place. I'm not in Atlanta.
Yeah.
My family's not there to comfort me. And I literally just had to like lean on the Lord in that moment. I literally had to like surrender the fear, as hard as it was. And I had to say, God, like, I know you're going to wake me up from this surgery. Like, my fear is telling me like I'm gonna go in here and everything is like I'm never gonna come out. But I had to trust in the Lord and say, Lord, I know you are not gonna let my kids go motherless. You're not gonna let my husband be wifeless. You're not gonna take me from this earth because you still have purpose for me here. Like, you're not gonna pull me away when I know you have called me to do so much in the earth. And so I had to truly rely on my faith. And that's something that until that moment, I didn't know like what, how that really felt. I think in that moment, I was able to see like, wow, everything that I thought was relying on faith, like before, like, sometimes you'll rely on faith when you're on E, like, God, I know you're going to get me to this gas station, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But when it's like, when your life feels like it's in the balance, that's a different type of faith that you have to pull. That's like a different type of faith that you have to trust and believe God for. And so I had to really allow my mind to go there and not just, pull on the word, not just like look for my Bible, but actually believe it in my heart that God, you are with me. You're with me. Like, you're going into this surgery with me. And so yeah, after the surgery, I came out, and now came another battle. The battle of, well, why did you let me go through this? You know what I mean? Like, I was doing so much for you. Like, now I'm here in this hospital bed, and the recovery, like, even if y'all go look up gallbladder like surgeries and stuff, it's it's an easy surgery. It's supposed to be outpatient.
Okay.
It's not supposed to be what it was. So when I got out of the surgery, the recovery process was hard. It was way harder than what it was supposed to be. Matter of fact, I was only supposed to be in the hospital for 2 days. I ended up being in the hospital for a week.
Wow.
Yes, like not able to like get up, walk around, do things. Like, I literally, like, my body was so weak. It was so weird. And so I'm reminded of the scripture where it says, in our weakness, he is made strong.
Yes.
And so I think God was also trying to teach me another lesson, that it's not what you do for me that shows your strength. It's not you out here ministering. It's not you out here serving people. It's not you doing all those things. Yes, you can do all of those things. But at the end of the day, it's like sometimes in the resting part, like, you can find me too. Sometimes in the resting part, you sitting back, trusting me, relying on me, that shows me how much stronger I really am in your life versus you trying to do the works and say, look at God, he's strong, that's my Lord. But when you can actually sit in that and rest in that,
that's a word.
Ooh, that showed me like, God, like, wow, like, you're like every day in the hospital, like, you just looking at the walls. Nobody but you and God. You just looking at the walls, and it's just like, man, like, I'm weak right now, but God, I've never felt your presence more in my life than right now in this moment.
Yeah, like what you're speaking to as far as like rest showing faith as well as actions, is like really key, because a lot of people do feel justified by the more that they do. God, look, I'm doing it, and like while we know, like we just quoted, faith without works is dead. Rest is a work of faith as well.
That part.
Like, when God brought the Israelites, out of Egypt, and he was providing manna every day for them, and he told them, don't like, don't take leftovers from one day into the next. Like, he wants us to depend on him on a daily basis. And we have to trust, like, that he's going to depend even on a day, like on the 6th day, he gave him enough for 2 days. So, like, we have to trust that he's going to keep providing, even if we sit still. We don't have to do everything all the time. And us showing, like, that we really trust him is believing that, you know, if I'm down for a week, I know you got me.
Yes.
You know, that's faith just as much as the works that you do. Man. So that's a really good point.
Girl,
it's a really good
right
point.
There changed the trajectory of my life for like 2024 and 2025 because I stopped feeling like I had to do so much. Like, I left that hospital knowing that it wasn't about my works. You know, like, my works can't earn me anything. Like, it can't, like, honestly, like, you know, the moment we give ourselves over to Christ, like, we come into the fold, you know, so anything else is like that we do for the Lord, that's just extra. Exactly. You know, you're not earning, your spot in heaven. Yeah, you're not. Yeah. So I think, like, that mentality of, like, hustle culture and all of that, like, I was delivered from that. It wasn't just like my gallbladder coming out, but from a spiritual sense, it was like I really was delivered from, like, hustle culture. And I think, like, you know, the Lord had to do that for the next place that he's taking me in my life, to where it's just like, no, this is you, just like you was dependent on me in that hospital room. You're going to be dependent on me for this next season in ministry, in entrepreneurship, in life, in motherhood. You're going to depend on me because this is what it feels like. This is what it looks like.
That is so good. I know, like, for me, like, walking this thing out as an entrepreneur, that hustle culture that you're talking about, like, people will make you feel like you can't sleep. You need to get it. If you resting, you tripping. You know what I'm saying? Like, they really will, like, put the world, like, culture will put that on you. And we can't look like the world. We can't walk like the world. I don't have to do all the same stuff that everybody else is doing because I have God in my corner and I trust him. And if he's telling me to sit still in this moment, I'm going to either listen to him or he going to make something happen where I have to listen. Now, which one, you know what I'm saying? Like, because your body will tell you when it's time to sit down. So if you don't, get your body time to reset. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's like, it's gonna sit you down anyway. So why not just trust God and trust, like, he rested. I always look at it like he rested after creating the universe. I have never created a plant, you know what I'm saying? I ain't created an animal. I ain't created nothing as big as he did. So why, like, if he rested after creating all of that and I'm not bigger than God, why wouldn't I? He designed us to have rest. That part. He wants us to, you know what I'm saying? Like, when he says remember the Sabbath and keep it holy, like, remember that you need to rest because at the end of the day, I'm in control, not you. If you stop, the world keeps spinning because I'm in control. So, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, that rest is not to be taken lightly. Like, so rest is a work of faith. Like, that is, I'm so glad you shared that story. I love that. I love that. So for entrepreneurs out there, make sure y'all get some rest, cause please get some rest. Okay. Now, before we wrap up this segment, y'all know I always like to leave you with a faith challenge, which is something you can actually put into practice this week because, again, faith without works is dead. So I want to challenge you to identify one area in your life where you've been hesitant to fully trust God, whether it's in your finances, your career path, even if it's in taking rest like we just spoke about. Whatever it is, I want you to take one step of bold faith this week. That could look like praying intentionally over that area, taking a step back and allowing God to work, reaching out to somebody you know who could give you some guidance. Whatever it is, just like simply surrender that thing to God and say, Lord, I trust you, and allow him to lead you in your next movements. Remember, faith does not always mean having it all figured out. It just means believing God is who he says he is and keep moving forward anyway. All right, y'all, that wraps up our Faith Works segment for today. We're going to take a quick music break, and when we come back, we're diving deeper into the story of my sis, Nwugochi Lewis. So stay locked in here on the London Elixir Show. Welcome back to the London Elixir Show. I'm your host, London Elixir, and I'm so excited to have my girl, Nwugochi, here with us today. All right, cousins, let's rewind a little bit. And Alice, let's talk to the people about how we first met. So when I first moved to Atlanta, y'all, you know, I was looking for church homes, and one of the first places that I tried was a church called New Macedonia. It was in Riverdale. It was literally like walking distance from where I lived at the time. So I was just like trying to see what was close and what was happening. So I actually like went to that church, and one of the things that I really liked about it was that they had a young adults Bible study. And Alice and her husband Mike were leading that. So can you tell us a little bit about, you know, like how that was? Because I remember meeting you guys there.
Yes. Oh my gosh. And I just want to say, like, in that season, like, it was such a beautiful time. Like, when God says, like, your gifts will make room for you, like, he really means that. Like, I remember just being there, just attending the church, and there was a need for the young adults. Like, all the young adults were like, hey, we want to get together, we want to do some things. And this was before you came. And so they'd be like, we want to do some things, we want to do some things. And so we were like, okay, let's crank it up, let's start it up. And, you know, we didn't go in thinking we were going to lead the charge, but it just kind of fell into place, and God just kind of let it happen like that. And so it was just a beautiful season. I think it's so important to catch people when they're in their young adult stage, because they're in a lot of transition. They're coming into that new season of becoming an adult. You know what I mean? And it comes with so much, especially all of the pressures from society, like what you have to have, what you have to look like. Do you got the degrees? Do you got the accolades? Are you settled? You know, finances. And so I think it's important to lead Bible study discussions that actually teach people when they're coming into that stage of their lives, the direction and how to go and what God wants for them.
Absolutely. I think that's really important. Like, that age group, like you're talking about, like, it's a different level of like faith. Like, you've been in church all your life, but then when you grow up, you don't have to go no more if you don't want to. Your parents aren't dragging you. So you have to choose. So when young adults join churches and choose to be a part of them, I do think it's important that they have a subgroup within that church to be able to, like, you know, meet and talk with other people like within their same age range in a real way about what they're going through or what they're experiencing, and how the Bible applies, and, you know, how they could grow their faith in this new season, this kind of a transitional season into adulthood. So I agree with that. Like, I really, really appreciated that. So so that's how we met. But that's, you know,
how we met. It was a beautiful time.
It was.
Like, I just remember, like, it was more relational too. Like, just like sometimes we would have snacks, sometimes we would have, like, you know, like different events and stuff, different topics we would do. Like,
it was fun. Y'all kept it really interactive, and like, I really enjoyed going there. Like, for real. Like you said, relational. Like, we stayed in touch. Like, you know, neither one of us are still at that church, but we stayed in touch because of the relationship that we built through the Young Adults Bible Study, which I think is also important. Like, fellowshipping and building relationships within your church with other people, so y'all could keep each other accountable, keep each other encouraged, you know, all of the above. So after that, we actually started doing Bible studies at your house as well. Can you tell us a little bit about the One House ministry that you guys had?
Yes. Oh my God. One House was birthed from a place of, like, you know, even though I think sometimes we look at church like it's a four walls type of situation, you know, and we don't really always take into account the bigger church. Like, we are one body, right? And so with One House, having Bible studies at our house was just like a extension of that aspect of, like, we are one body. We don't always have to be in the four walls of the church, but God can do something outside of the four walls of the church. And so which is like Bible studies, it could be like community group, it could be outreaches. I think it was so important in that season to just go beyond the four walls, because like I said, like, we deal with so much on a daily basis, and sometimes, like, you may not you know how, like, you're in church and the pastor's preaching and you get the word, but you don't get to talk about how it made you feel. You don't get to talk about what you're going through on the inside. You don't get to ask questions, or you may not necessarily have someone who can, is anybody else in here going through through this the same way I am? Like, you know what I mean? And so just being able to do that and pulling it into a home aspect, I believe it allowed people to just, you know, kick their feet back, you know, feel more relaxed, feel more at home, feel like, you know, we are one body, but this can also, your house is the house of God because we're inviting his presence into it. You know what I mean? And so that was really the heart behind it.
Yeah, I love that. Like, so for anybody who may not even have a church home, but you, like, you know, maybe you watch online somewhere, but you want to get together with some of your friends or some of your peers and just talk about it. Like, it doesn't always have to happen within those four walls. Like she said, it could be at your home. It could be at Starbucks. It could be at the park. You know, just get a group of people together and, you know, ask questions. And nobody has to be a guru. It could really just be so y'all could share experience and try to figure it out together. Or, you know, this is what I was thinking, but, you know, I could ask my pastor back home, or my aunt is a minister. Maybe she could help us understand. You know what I'm saying? Like, just don't neglect, you know, the opportunity to grow as a group just because you're not doing, you know, just because you might not be able to do it at church. Like she said, on Sundays, you can't ask questions. So, yeah, just don't be afraid to create space.
Yes, and I want to add on to that, and use the word as your guide, but, you know, don't feel like you have to, like, be a Bible scholar, if you know what I mean. Like, don't feel like, oh, I didn't go to Bible school, so I can't, how can I possibly, you know, start this? Like, no, it doesn't have to be all of that. Like, you use the word as your guide, and then let God do the rest. Like, you might want to open up the floor to for a specific topic. Well, use the Bible as your guide to do that. But then, you know, y'all have fun. Like, be interactive, engage. Like, think of off the wall, out the world stuff. Like, you know, I think sometimes we get so cookie cutter, and that prevents us from doing things like that because we feel like, you know, we have to have, you know, I'm not trained in this, I'm not this, I'm not that. And it's just like, no, like, have fun with it. As long as, you know, you're using the word to guide you, you're using the Lord to guide you, you're good to go. Go, start it, do it. Do the thing.
Right now. Get off here and go do it. Sorry, no, keep listening to the episode. Keep listening. So, beyond the Bible studies and the spiritual community you've built, you're also a powerhouse in the business world. And you wear a lot of hats, girl. So, for those who may not be familiar with everything you do, can you break it down for us? Like, talk about the podcast, talk about Wellthy University. You know, what do you do, girl? Tell us.
Yes. Oh, my God. Okay. Whew, how much time do we got?
We good. Go.
Yes. So, okay, so Nwugochi Ministries is basically like the hub of everything. A lot of times, people think of the word ministry and you think like of this person that is like, I love the word you use, guru. Yeah. You know, and I think, you know, we think of this major person that's like just preaching all the time, all the things. And it's just like when God gave me the vision of ministry, he really dropped in my heart, servant. Like, how do you serve? Like, how does Nwugochi serve? How do you serve, and how do you put my name on the forefront? And one of those things was prayer, mentorship, speaking. And so the Lord just started to allow me to box up those things in different ways. And before I knew it, there was like Wellthy University was born, which Wellthy University is my platform that I mentor women with. And so through Wellthy University, I've been blessed to mentor women on their journey to use their spiritual gifts. So a lot of women come to me saying, hey, I have this gift. I have this gift of prophecy. I have this gift of teaching. I just don't know how to use it. And I just started to say, oh, okay, like, well, this is how you use it. Like, let me take you to the word. Let me walk you through this thing. And then so I started to put it together, package it, and say, hey, the next time someone comes to me and say, how do they use their spiritual gifts? I'm going to be ready. I'm going to be ready for them. And I'm going to show them, like, this is how you do it from A to Z. And so I love to do it. One of my mentees, she was able to go through my program last year. She came to one of the events I had. After the event, she did my mentorship program. After the mentorship program, she launched her ministry. After she launched her ministry, people started signing up for her ministry. And she has like over 180 women that she is ministering to just from coming through the mentorship and saying, I'm ready to use my spiritual gifts.
That's beautiful.
And so I think it's just important to just know, like, when God gives you something, you cannot sit on it. period. Like, there's somebody's life depending on it. And that one person that came through my program, what if I was not available for her? Then she wouldn't be reaching the women that she's reaching right now. And I think, like, you know, sometimes we look at it like, oh, it's just the one. Like, I don't have to do all of that. It's just the one. Let me not put all my energy into it. No, but that one can do some damage against the kingdom of darkness.
Come on now.
You never want to, like, go against your humble beginnings. You never want to, like, you know, drop the ball just based on it. You got to see it with your spiritual eyes. And that's what I try to teach people through Wellthy University. Like, just use your spiritual gifts, because somebody on the other end is dependent on it. And so through that, the podcast as well was born.
Well, wait, before we go into the podcast,
okay.
How can they become involved in Wellthy University? What's the website? How do they sign up? All of that.
The website is nwugochiministries.org. You can go on there and you'll see a button that says start here. You want to click that button and you want to take my spiritual gift quiz. That spiritual gift quiz is so important because it allows you to, a lot of times we think we know our gifts. We think we know, like, oh yeah, like, you know, I'm gifted in teaching. That's my main gift. And it's just like, you know, once you take the quiz, you can see, like, oh, I'm not just gifted in teaching. I'm also gifted in discernment. Like, I'm also gifted in preaching. I'm also gifted in all of these other areas. And then so what I do through the program is, so I start to have you understand how your gift meets your assignment and your calling, because it's important to know, like, your gift doesn't just work on its own. Like, yeah, you may have a gift of discernment, but are you called? Is that what you're called to in this season? Like, is that where you're assigned in this season? And so sometimes, like, our gifts will be heightened in certain seasons. Sometimes, like, our gift of prophecy may be heightened in that season, and that's the gift that you really need to be walking in, and you need to be using. You need to be serving people in that gift. And so once you go through the program, you understand, like, okay, yeah, I have this gift of preaching, but the reason why I'm not preaching is because this is not the season to do it. It doesn't mean that I don't have that gift.
Come on
It
now.
just means that, you know, in this season, my gift of discernment is what I need to be walking in. And so how do you do that?
That's really
you know,
good.
and so you know, you got to know the calling, you got to know the assignment
And the season.
And the season.
That is so key. Like, because people
girl.
sometimes just feel like because they know this is what they're supposed to do, that they're supposed to be doing it right now. And that is not always the case.
That's
like,
not always the case.
Prime example, like, David was anointed to be king while Saul was still on the throne.
Yes.
He didn't become king
Yes.
until way later, but that
Yes.
did not change that. That was his calling. That was his assignment. That was his gift.
Yeah.
It just wasn't his time.
For sure.
So, like,
sure.
that's really good. Like,
Yeah,
that's
girl.
a good point. I'm glad that you acknowledged that. So tell them the website. Spell it out for them one more time.
Yes, www.nwugochi, NWUGOCHI, ministries.org.
All right, y'all. We're going to take a quick music break. And when we come back, we're going to talk about her podcast. So keep it locked right here on The London Elixir Show. Welcome back to The London Elixir Show, cousins. I'm your host, London Elixir, and we are in studio with Miss Nwugochi Lewis.
Yes.
And before we went to the break, we were talking about Wellthy University, and she was going to tell us how that led to her podcast. So go ahead and give us the story, girl.
Yes, man. And so here comes the podcast. Of course, like, for me in that season, I'm not even gonna hold y'all, I'm not gonna lie. I'm like, God, another vision, like, you know, like another vision, another thing that you need me to fulfill in the earth. Okay, well,
Girl,
I guess.
hold on before we, because that I feel that. I feel that. That's how I felt about this show. I'm like, for real, God, you want me to do something else?
Yes.
Like, it feel like that sometimes. But go ahead. Sorry, we ain't got to talk too long about it. But that one hit me. But go ahead. Go ahead.
And so, but you know how you know it's God is like when you feel that churning in your belly, you know, like out of our belly shall flow rivers of living water. And I think sometimes we think like it's like the word, like preaching, like, you know, all the things. But at the end of the day, like, how can God use you as his mouthpiece, right? How can he use you for the day, the time, the age that we're in?
Yes.
And so with the podcast, it was like I felt this thing in my belly during 2020 when, you know, everything was going on with Black Lives Matters, like things was happening all over the world. People were protesting. And I felt something in my belly just to like really speak on that, because I think sometimes as Christians, we stray away from the political side. We stray away from the race side. We stray away from the side where, you know, in that too, there is evil, there's opposition. So how come we don't speak up against that? So in that moment, I just felt a yearning to actually get up and say something. And so I did. So I started a podcast where, you know, we talk specifically to women of color, and we actually encourage them, and we shed light on situations and things that happen in the world that people think are stereotypes, but it's only a stereotype because we are boxed into the stereotype. So how do we actually break this stereotype so that it's no longer a stereotype anymore? It's a way of life. It's a culture. It's a thing. This is who we are as a people versus, like, you know, we're this specific stereotype. Like, oh, they do that. Like, we do this. That's how they are. They're just, oh, angry black woman. Like, you know, no, like, that's not a thing. Like, I can be saucy. I can be feisty. You know, there's nothing wrong with that. I think other cultures are permitted to do that in their respected way. But when we do it, sometimes we get put that we are the specific type of people.
Absolutely.
And so, you know, God allowed me to do that in a tasteful, classy way, in a way where I can really bring the faith aspect into it too. Yeah. And say, like, hey, here's what the word says. Like, go out, speak up against oppression, speak up against these things. We have to stop looking at justice like it's something that the world is gonna somehow do, and the people of God aren't called to create justice in spaces. Like, no, we are called to create justice as well. That's a calling. You know, that's an assignment. That's a ministry. You know?
Absolutely. Wow, that's beautiful. And how can people listen to the podcast?
You can listen on all platforms: Apple Podcasts, what else? Amazon Podcasts, Spotify. YouTube is my favorite because you can always also watch it as well. You can see my girl London on her episode.
So spell it out for them so they know what to put in the search.
Yes, it is Pod for the number 4, Yah, Y-A-H, Girl, G-I-R-L.
One more time.
Pod, P-O-D, for the number 4, Yah, Y-A-H, Girl, G-I-R-L.
Perfect. Now, as somebody who has built such an impactful brand, like, what role does integrity play in your business? Like, we know the marketplace could sometimes be tough. So, like, how do you maintain your values and ensure that integrity remains, like, at the forefront of what you do?
Yes. Integrity is everything, honestly. Like, I cannot do anything unless integrity is in it. Like, literally, I'm in the middle of, like, a business negotiation type of thing right now, and I'm like, okay, like, now we gonna put all the things up front in the paperwork. Like, I don't want anything done behind the scenes. I don't want anything like sidebar. I don't want anything to come back and, like, you know, bite me. I think also integrity from the aspect of being true to, did God say it? You know what I mean? Like, being true to that, standing on that, I think helps out a lot as well. I think sometimes, like, we can get in our own head of, like, well, I'm in this business, I'm doing it, but now this person wants to come in and partner with me, right? And it's just like, did you go to God and did you ask him before you partner with that individual? Did God, you went to God. Did God give you the green light? Or are you just saying God gave you the green light because you really, really, really want to do it? Like, you know, I think for me, it hasn't been like having integrity with other people that I struggle with. It's more so of my integrity with me in my relationship with the Lord, because at the end of the day, like, God knows the truth. Like, he knows, like, you know, what he told you to do. So we can't just slap, you know, God's name just on anything and just be like, oh yeah, he told me to do it. You know, and, like, I think living in my truth is knowing that, okay, the only time I'm going to say yes, the only time I'm going to do it, the only time I'm going to move into this next opportunity is if I truly got the green light from God. And if I didn't, I got to go back and I got to deliver a no. Like, I love you. I think that's amazing, but this is not.
And in those moments when you feel like you have to deliver a no, how do you keep from feeling like you're missing out?
Ooh, girl. I'm gonna just be real. You don't. You gonna feel like you missing out.
Keep it real.
You gonna feel like you missing out. You really are. You're gonna feel like, that could have opened the door quicker. This route you could have took. They got this. They got the following. They got the community. That community can be. You're gonna feel like that. But at the end of the day, you gotta trust God. You gotta trust that sometimes you're gonna have to take the scenic route because you don't want to sign up for anything that God is not in, because now you may be attached to something and the ship may be going down.
Come on now.
And we don't really see it.
We can't see that.
Yeah.
God sees everything.
Yeah. And so I think it's really, for me as a business person, I have to learn to like the scenic route, like the slowness, like the process, like, taking the long way there. And it's okay, because I know that on the long way, it's me and God. Like, narrow is the way. You know what I mean? I know that on the long way, it's just me and God. But on this short, quick way, it's me and a whole bunch of other people. And my tuneness with God, like my oneness with God can get put on the back burner if it's too many people in the sauce. Now I'm depending on you. Like, did you do this? Did you do that?
Yep.
Like, well, this is due today. Like, are you, like, when you gonna show up with this? Like, I'm depending on you, but on this other route, God is like, hey, if you would have just depended on me,
come on now,
I would have had that delivered already. You know what I mean? Like, it would have just been me and you.
Yeah.
And so I think that, sometimes it's staying true to that scenic route versus the route that looks good because society says it looks good.
That's good. That's really good. So with all of that, I'm sure prayer has to be a big part of just how you stay balanced and stay connected and in tune, like you're saying. Yes. So can you speak a little bit about the importance of self-care as it relates to praying or even physical, more than just spiritual?
Yeah. Ooh, girl. I mean, prayer is literally where everything starts for me. For sure. I think that I use it to center myself. I know, we live in a new age, you know what I mean? Where a lot of people do different things to do that. But there is nothing like going back to God. There's nothing like conversing with God. There's nothing like staying grounded and staying at the hip of God. And I think sometimes when I do feel like I'm missing out or I'm going through a moment where, I'm on this scenic route and it don't feel like it's working, you know what I mean? The negotiations aren't going the way I want to go, whatever. In that moment, I got to stop and I got to center myself with prayer. I got to go to God and sometimes he won't say nothing back. If I'm being honest, sometimes I'll wait and I'll listen. I'm like, God, and that just means you remain still, you know what I mean? And there's still groundedness and there's still balance even in that, because if God doesn't say anything, that don't mean oh, well, still go out and do it your way. You know what I mean? And so I find a lot of peace in just getting it off my chest, venting to God. My prayers don't always look the same. It's sometimes I do go in and pray warfare prayers, but then on the other side I may just have to vent to God. I'm just like, God, I don't know, today ain't the day, God. This going one way, and so I think that if I could encourage y'all today, it would be to really develop your prayer life. Develop your prayer life and don't be afraid. Because back in the day, the old church, we used to pray different, it used to look different. Yeah. And so I'm not gonna lie, I used to be intimidated because I didn't pray the way other people prayed. But now we know better. Now we know your prayer doesn't have to look like anybody else's. It doesn't have to feel like anybody else's. You don't have to. That is literally a time between you and God. And so I think once you develop that prayer life, it really helps with mindset. It helps with direction. It helps with for me, it's even a part of my self-care because my friends would say all the time, like, oh, what do you do for self-care? You need to, go take a day, go to the spa, go to the thing. Like, my self-care is literally prayer. Like, it's really spending time with God because I feel so refreshed. I feel so renewed, and I'm not putting on for y'all. This is no cap. Like, for real, like, that is truly my self-care. And so develop a prayer life, whatever it looks like. Start somewhere. Just vent to God, talk to God, pray with scripture, and I think you'll be all right.
That's good. That's really good advice for the listeners.
Yeah.
All right, y'all. We're going to take another quick music break, and we'll be right back with more on The London Elixir Show. Welcome back to The London Elixir Show. I'm your host, London Elixir, and I am here with Nwugochi Lewis, y'all. And one of the things we didn't get a chance to talk about yet is your clothing brand, Authentic. So let's talk about it.
Yes, girl. So Authentic is my baby. It is it means Africa authentic. So the two words combined mean authentic. And it's something that God gave me because for those of y'all that don't know, I am Nigerian American, first generation. And it's something that I really wanted to start because I wanted to leave legacy for my family. Like, I feel like my grandma, she came over to America and she never changed herself. Like, she never felt like she couldn't wear the things that she was wearing or eat the foods that she was eating, or she never felt shame for her culture. And so I wanted to create a clothing brand that embodied that, where, we can live in our clothing. We can wear African fabric. We can wear t-shirts that, represent the heritage of Africa, but not feel shame. Like, I remember being growing up African was different. It was different. Like, every day, like, you're teased because of your name. You're teased because, your mom may have cooked something in the house and it smelled. And so now you go to school and you smell like African food. And people are like, what's that smell? Oh, African booty scratcher. Like, And so, like, it made me develop shame for my culture. And so growing up, I remember when me and Mike got married, my husband, we got married, and that was the first time where we got to do our traditional wedding, and we got to dress up in all of the African clothes, and we got to, like, just experience, like, how beautiful Africa really is, how beautiful the culture is, how beautiful, like, it is to just, lock in and commit and say, hey, like, I'm African and I don't care what people may say. This was before it was popular, y'all. I feel like now,
before Black Panther,
before Black Panther, now I feel like it's different. Like, people are really embracing it. They're loving it. Like, people are making trips. They're going to Africa. They're visiting. And so I want to have this clothing line, or I have this clothing line where you can wear your culture every day, every single day. And so please check it out. It's called, go to www.authentic.com. You can check out more about the story, watch one of the videos, and shop t-shirts, skirts, dresses. We also have the skincare line now. We are launching our hair care line, and we are going to be launching the home side as well very soon. So stay tuned.
Yes, spell out the website for them one more time.
Yes, it is AFRENTIC.com, authentic.com.
Yes, go shop, y'all. Go shop.
Yes.
All right, now, cousins, we're about to have a little fun. Y'all know I love this part of the show. It's time to switch the seats. So this is where my guest becomes the host and gets to ask me a couple questions. So what you got for me, girl?
Yes, I got some questions for you, girl. Okay, so first, you are a very influential person, and I am so happy to know you. I want to ask a question for all the TikTok people out there. So if they are just now starting on TikTok, what should they do? Because if y'all don't know, my girl, she is a whole TikTok influencer, okay? So what should they do, girl?
Man, that's a good question. So I could tell you what I did and, like, just kind of go from there. So when TikTok first came out, I was just on there like everybody else, like following the little trends, making the dance videos. It was just for fun. Like, I never planned to be like a TikTok influencer or, you know, viral DJ or none of that. It was just, I was there.
Yeah.
So, one of the things I know is like TikTok requires, I think, 1,000 followers in order for you to go live. I'm not sure if that's changed, but that's usually the rule. If you don't have at least 1,000 followers, you can't go live. So I know, I got my followers from doing all of those little trendy videos. People will follow you from like seeing trends, you know, like, so I was just doing those little things. So, that was years ago. I didn't start going live DJing until last summer, the summer of 2024. And like, I just started doing that because I was DJing at a spot. I had a residency. I ended up not doing it anymore. It was like after a year, I stopped doing that residency. And at the time, I was still pretty fresh into my DJing experience, and I didn't want to like lose it. You know, I was like, I need to just practice.
Yeah.
So I just was like, I'm gonna practice on TikTok because it's the only one that lets you play music that you don't own. Like, if you're live on Instagram, they'll cut you off. YouTube, they'll cut you off. Like, if you don't own the music. So I was like, TikTok doesn't care. So I'm gonna just go live on TikTok. I didn't think anything of it. I was literally just like, I'm going to practice on live. And that's all I was doing, just practicing DJ sets. And the first time I went on there, I had like 500 or 800 viewers.
Okay.
I think
That's
it was
really good.
Yeah, it was something like a lot to me. I'm like, dang, because this is no promotion, you know, like, I'm just on here practicing. I didn't realize it would be that many people that give you the stats at the end of the video. I'm like, oh, that was cool. Let me go live again tomorrow. The next day, it was like, if it was 500 the first day, the next day it might have been like 800. And the third day, y'all, it was 20,000. I lied to you not. Like,
what?
Yeah. Like, I don't have no secret. I wish I could be like, these are the steps. Yeah. But like, I don't know. Like, I know like with DJing, it probably was beneficial because like everybody likes music. Yeah. You're going to want to come in and vibe. You could just have this playing while you're driving to work or, you know, getting ready to go out, or, you know, on Sundays we do praise breaks, you know, after church. I call it like the after party sometimes, like the church after party. We just going to listen to some more gospel music. So like, I think it was kind of a cheat code because it's music focused, but I can't take any credit. I think God knew that was going to happen because that was not my intention. Yeah. And since then, like, it just blew up. Like, I went from 6,000 followers from when I first started going live to 60,000 in the matter of a summer. Wow. Yeah. Like, so that's consistency, amazing. I will say the things that I have learned though. You have to be consistent on TikTok. If you're promoting content, I know I gain my followers through live content. TikTok likes when you keep people on their platform. So I think that also worked in my favor because if somebody comes in and they're watching my live, they're on there for at least an hour, maybe two. Yeah. And TikTok is going to boost that type of content because they want people on their platform. Yeah. So that's a tip. Consistency is key. I've noticed that like if I go like a couple weeks without going live, I start losing like hundreds of followers at a time. Like, you know, like, so I don't know what that's about, but I'm just telling y'all what I've seen. So you have to be consistent. Like when I gained all those followers, I was going live like 5 times a week. So it was like something they could count on. I told people to turn on their notifications. Yeah. While you're live, I will also suggest like doing something that keeps people interactive. So like for me, it's like, okay, every 10,000 likes, we're going to drink. Like, and I always tell people, it doesn't have to be alcohol. It could be whatever you want to drink, but like, let's stay hydrated. So like that keeps them tapping the screen because they want to do something together every 10,000 likes. And it also keeps your likes going up. So like, don't steal that, y'all. That's mine. Think of something else though, like something to keep people interactive. You know, like every 10,000 likes, we're going to do something like related to whatever it is that you're doing. Yeah. What else can I say for TikTok tips? Just be nice to people. Once you start building your following, you might need moderators. Which are people who just monitor the chat because the chat moves so fast, and you know, trolls come in there and they just try to kill the vibe and say random things. And it's cool if you have a friend who you've given access to mute people or block people out of it. So that's what a moderator is. But yeah, y'all, those are the tips. Consistency, I know, is like the main thing. And then something, I don't know if this is fully true, but I feel like it is. When you're a content creator on the TikTok platform, it doesn't look good to TikTok if you're scrolling too much, if you're a consumer. Because I have noticed, like, when I'm not on TikTok scrolling or anything and I go live, I have it seems like TikTok pushes it if I haven't been scrolling, if I haven't been acting like a consumer. But on like times like, say I I had a busy week and I'm just scrolling through TikTok throughout the week and I go live like a week or so later, it doesn't get as much exposure.
Wow.
So I think like these are just things that I'm not telling y'all is written down somewhere in fact, but these are things that I've noticed, like trends that I've seen. Like, if you're going to be a creator, you can't act like a consumer from that same account. If you want, create 2 accounts, be a consumer on 1 account, but keep your creator account focused on producing content and do it consistently. And I think that's those are the tips I could give for TikTok.
I love that. I actually heard another creator say something like that, like when it comes to brand deals, like they say, like, don't act like a consumer, because they want you to, like, look, have the aesthetic, all the things, like you are, like, able to speak to their audience.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so that's good.
Yeah.
Okay.
That was a really good question.
My other question, do I have time for another
Yeah,
question?
go ahead.
My other question would be, what has been the height of your faith walk so far?
Ooh, that's a tough one. The height?
Like something big that you feel like God has done for you, or made a way out of no way, or...
Oh my goodness. Oh, he's done it so many times. I'm like, which is like the pinnacle? What could I like put on? Okay, y'all. So, because I'm also trying to choose a not too long story. Okay. Something that has been a really big thing for me, like, is God coming through financially. Because for those who know, like, I quit my job in 2019. I have a degree in computer science and engineering. So, like, I was a software engineer for this major medical company. I worked from home. I was making good money. And I knew, like, I wasn't going to do that forever. But the time came when God was like, it's time to quit your job. So something that I deal with, like, that I'm constantly, like, in prayer about, and, like, trying to stay locked in with God about, is, like, the financial aspect of, like, being an entrepreneur. Is so much uncertainty. When I was working, I hated the job, so I'm glad he called me off of it. Like, this is my dream. I'm living what I really want to do. But there's nothing like that check coming every 2 weeks. You know what I'm saying? Like, that consistency of a paycheck. You really got to depend on God when you're doing it this way now. So, one of the major ways that God came through for me financially was when COVID hit. Literally, God told me to quit my job in 2019, y'all. 2020, y'all know what happened with COVID. So I'm out here like, God, what we finna do? The studios are closed. I wasn't DJing. Like, I didn't have syncs at the time. Like, that was before I started getting sync placement. So I was really just out here like, what are we gonna do? Like, how am I gonna make money? And, everybody was signing up, getting that PPP money. People was getting the unemployment checks. I couldn't get unemployment because I had quit my job. So, like, I was, like, trying to get the small business assistance. Like, everybody was getting money but me, it felt like. And in Georgia, it was just like, dang, like, I really needed some money. So I had to take some money out of my 401k. Shout out to, having the 401k.
Praise God.
But it was just like, dang, like, but it was able to hold me over because, like, I tried to apply for that small business assistance and I kept getting denied. And I was just like, clearly I'm running a business and I quit before the pandemic. So why are y'all denying me? Like, literally, my mom was just like, keep appealing, keep appealing, keep appealing. Y'all, I got denied for 2 years. Like, no assistance, no extra money for 2 years. Like, during COVID. And then finally, when it got to the last level that I could appeal, they reversed that decision and had to back pay me for 2 years.
Look at God.
Look at God. So like, when I, like, that was like definitely one of the, like, peaks of my faith, because I was just like, God, like when it came, like, it was like a lump sum of money that they owed me by that time, and like, Lord knows I needed it. So that I would say that's the answer.
Man, that's big. That's big, girl. And that's why I said, like, you never know, like, what's on the other side. Like, at the end of the day, like, you just keep on appealing and letting it go, like, trusting God. Like, that's beautiful.
Yes. Shout out to God. Shout out to God. On that note, y'all, let's take another quick music break, and when we come back, we'll have more right here on the London Elixir Show. Welcome back to the London Elixir Show. I'm your host, London Elixir, and I am still in studio with my sis, Nwugochi Lewis. And it's time to have some more fun. We got to do the What's the Word challenge. So what is one word that you would use to describe your current season in life?
Ooh, I'm going to say trust. Yeah, I feel like this season has just been all about trust. Like, I think that it's easy to trust God when everything is going right, and everything is going your way and things are happening the way that you planned it. But at the end of the day, in this season, I think this hasn't been a season of plans for me. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I think all 2025, like, I literally made a plan in 2024. Like, you know, the end of the year plan.
Yeah.
Like, you're like, everybody's like, get your you know, 2025 together. Do you know what you're doing in 2025? Write it down, make the vision plan, all the things. And so I did that at the end of 2024. And then as soon as 2025 hit, God was like, I need you to finish this. Right here. This right here, I need you to go back to that and I need you to finish that. So that plan that you had, that I don't even know if we coming back to that. I don't even know if we coming back to that, but I know I need you to finish this right here. And so I had to trust that. And I could have trusted in my plan and say, but I got it, everything planned out. I got, you know, all the things, but God is like, are you going to trust me? You know? And I think that for me, I fear God too much not to trust him. And I fear him too much not to be like, oh, well, I'm going to go and do it my way because I'm like, you know, that looks better, that feels better, you know what I mean? And it's just like, but on the other side of that, I'm scared what's on the other side of that if God ain't in it.
Come on now.
So I best trust God. And so that's what I did. And it's been just, you know, a year of trust, and I like it.
Good.
I like it. I didn't like it at first, but I've grown to like it, you know? And so it's not like every day waking up and feeling like, you know, I have this big agenda that I have to complete by the end of 2025.
Right.
I'm literally walking with God every month, every day through and trusting in his way.
That's good. Being able to like change your plans when they're not God's plan. That's big, because we get stuck and, well, this is what I thought I was going to be doing or what I feel like I'm supposed to be doing. But it's like, if it ain't what God told you to do, then it's not. And like you said, we might come back, we might not, but you just got to know that God created you. And I always say he knows what he created you for. So who better to listen to?
Yeah. And stop. I was like, I got to stop trying to New Year's resolution and like, you know, make your plan before the year even start. And it's just like, when you think about it, you're planning something in an old season for a new season. And it's just like, you know, you don't know what that new season is going to be like. Like, I'm all for preparation, but I'm also for, you know, knowing that God is telling you to do something. Like, you know what I mean? Versus like, prep, plan. And I think that is the age that we are living in with social media and with, you know, so many voices coming in. Like, you got to be able to be grounded and just know like who you are. What are you supposed to be doing? Because, you know, God's plan is way different from man's. And so,
that's good. I like that. All right, before we wrap up, let the cousins know how they can stay connected with you. Shout out your social media so they can support all the great things you're doing.
Yes. Okay. So on Instagram, you can follow me at Nwugochi Lewis. That's NWUGOCHI, Lewis, LEWIS. And, you know, just put the @ in front of it. You can also follow Pod for Your Girl at Pod, POD, for the number 4, YAH Girl.
All right. All right. So that is a wrap on this episode of the London Elixir Show. And this has been such a great conversation. A huge thank you again for joining me today, sis.
You are welcome. Thank you for having me.
Of
for
course,
real.
of course.
Super honored to be here.
Aww.
Yeah.
I love you. Okay.
Love you
So
too.
thank you, cousins, for tuning in. If anything we said today spoke to you, just hit us up. Let us know what part hit the hardest. Tag us on social media. Mine is London Elixir, the letter L, the letter X. Or you can also visit our website at londonelixir.com/show to send us a message. I always look forward to hearing from you guys. Remember, we are here every Sunday at 5 p.m. EST. So set a reminder in your phone, tell your friend to tell a friend, and meet us right back here next week for more music, gems, and good vibes. And remember, if you're an artist with music to share, a brand that aligns with our message, or someone who just wants to support the show, we want to hear from you too. Visit the site and get plugged in. Again, that site is londonelixir.com/show. If you're listening from the app, you can literally press my little face and the link will pop up. And don't forget to follow me on Instagram, TikTok to stay connected. Until next time, remember, faith works when you do. Keep the faith, keep creating, and keep believing. See you next week on the London Elixir Show.